The book of Romans says, it said the Lord will soon smite Satan under your feet. If God is not dealing with your enemy, there's something wrong with you. Do you hear what I just said? You see, oh God, I don't know that you understand our heritage. I repeat, if God is not dealing with your enemies, there's something wrong with you. If a man's way please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. If God is not dealing with your enemy, there's something wrong. You don't need to pray that God should kill them. No, you don't need to. Enemy should not be your attention when you are talking to your God. What did God say to Abraham? What's the heritage that we have? When he called Abraham, he said, Abraham, I am freeing you from hate and bitterness and asking me to kill your enemies. So as you keep working with me, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. Many years later, his children were in the acacia grove, and Balaam and Balak formed an alliance, a dangerous satanic alliance. Balaam and Balak. Balaam represent the government. Balaam represent the witchcraft, and they came together. They formed an alliance against a people of God in the acacia grove, and the people of God were not even aware. They raised 21 evil altars against them, and yet it never worked. At the end of the day, Balaam himself said, let me die the death of the righteous, because these are your people where there's no enchantment against them, there's no divination against them. These are the first people in my wicked ministry that I cursed, and they were uncurseable. Because if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. So that is God telling us we don't belong to the heritage that ask him to kill our enemies. Anybody who make themselves our enemies, wizards, witches, all of them, should just fall before us. I don't know if you understand me. They should just fall before us. Look at what David said. This is how I know that God is with me, when my enemies fall before me. In another word, this is how I know I am generating the energy of righteousness. When my enemy fall before me, when I'm generating the energy of righteousness, my enemies fall before me. When I am not generating the energy of righteousness, I fall before my enemies. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Maybe you can write that down. When I generate the energy of righteousness, my enemies fall before me. But when I don't generate the energy of righteousness, I fall before my enemies. Very, very important for every child of God to know. When I generate the energy of righteousness, my enemy fall before me. I pass through the water, I will not be carried away. I pass through the fire, it shall not consume me. I go through the rivers, nothing will happen to me. They fashion their weapons, nothing will happen to me. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the impact of God's glory will surround my life. So when I generate the energy of righteousness, no matter who comes against me, they fall for my sake. Not because I raised an altar, not because I gave an offering, not because I gave some tithe, not because I gave some special seed. It's because I generate the energy of righteousness. You can give and sacrificially without generating the energy, because it does not come by giving, it comes by living. It does not come by giving, it comes by living. So help me ask your neighbor, which energy are you generating? Please, can you ask that question better? So if you look at Samson, he began to walk away from the work he was called into. When we walk away from the work we are called into, it changed the kind of energy we generate. In the realm of the spirit, there are two kinds of energies. There is the energy of righteousness. Are you understanding me? Which we are called to generate. But there is the spiritual energy. There is the dark spiritual energy that people also generate. So you are either generating the energy of righteousness or generating dark spiritual energy. When we say energy, we're talking about that which surround your presence, that which you carry, the presence you carry. Are you understanding what I'm saying? How many of you are used to, there's this metal called magnet. If you put pins around that metal, what does it do? It pulls them to itself. You know why? Because around that metal there's an energy. It's called the energy of attraction. Around your life there's an energy. Either you know it or not, there's energy around you. What happens to you is a product of that energy. If you are happy, it came from there. If you are sad, it came from there. If you are oppressed, it came from there. If you cannot keep a job, it came from there. If you cannot keep a good relationship, it came from there. If you can keep a job, it came from there. If you can keep a good relationship, it came from there. If you are not enjoying favor, it came from there. If you are enjoying favor, it came from there. Why is it that the king was able to choose Esther out of the hundreds of women, very beautiful women who came to occupy one position? The energy Esther generated gave her the position of a queen. Why did Vashti lose that position? The energy she generated make her to lose that position. Vashti means beauty. Go and read the history. I studied it. I found out that Vashti was more beautiful than Esther. The beauty of Vashti was superior to every woman in the kingdom. Esther was not as beautiful as Vashti. She was a woman of beauty and authority, of great influence and power. I studied about her. Esther cannot be compared with Vashti in beauty. The hair of Vashti alone, her walk, her look, her elegance, she had more elegance than Esther, who never grew in the palace. Esther had no elegance. She was just a spiritual person, religious, the laws of Moses. Vashti was a woman of class, but the energy she generated made her to lose the position. So it's not about beauty, it's not about class. Class is good, beauty is good, but it's not about beauty, it's not about class, it's about energy. What do you generate? What did Pharaoh say about Joseph? Can we find a man who generates this kind of energy? In as much as God has revealed this to you, you will be heard over me and the entire kingdom, because we need your energy to survive. Pharaoh was looking for energy. Are you understanding me? When Potiphar brought Joseph into his house, he brought a man of righteous energy, and the energy powered the whole house of Potiphar, and he became prosperous. When the woman came to tempt him, she came to shut down the energy. Because when you live in sin, you generate the dark energy. When you walk right, you generate the energy of righteousness. It's not about what you carry in your pocket. It's not about what you carry in your hand. It's not about your voice, your shout and your cry. It's not about your fasting and prayer. They are good. It's about your energy. What is the spiritual energy that you are emitting? Some people cannot keep marriages because of the spiritual energy they emit. That is why we set the standard we have to go through the 7 process, the 7 steps into marriage, biblical steps in this house. Because listen, the moment you break the standard, you get into marriage with the wrong energy. Many people marry with dark energy. So as soon as they arrive at the marriage, the dark energy begin to influence the house. And before you know, the marriage does not last. It does not last. The dark energy the 2 people are generating around themselves will turn their house into a gate of hell. And they can't live together. So marriage is not about looks. It's about the energy. What's the energy that you are generating in your life? Is it dark or the energy of righteousness? There's no middle ground. Every human being on earth is either generating the dark energy, the dark spiritual energy, or the spiritual energy of righteousness. There's no middle ground. There's no middle ground. Can you not imagine 2 people who generate dark spiritual energies living together? Do you expect peace in that marriage? It can never be. If you like, take them through counseling. The only way to survive is to change what you generate. Are you understanding? Every one of us generates. Everybody. Why is it that some people come to the house of God, the sanctuary of His presence, and they cannot tap into what the Lord is doing? It's what they generate. What you generate can build a wall between you and the presence. So you need to break through your own personal wall to access the presence. Because you came in the church, but you are walled by the dark energy you have generated all through the week. So you came with it and you sat on the chair, and nothing we are saying is entering your heart, because the wall around you will not let it penetrate your heart. So you leave church and you continue the kind of life you are living, because what's around you will not let the word enter your heart. Until the word enters your heart, there cannot be a change. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So if you look at Samson from verse 4 of Judges 16, afterwards it happened that he loved a woman where? In the valley of Sorek, whose name was what? Delilah. I told you, if he has not found the harlot, he will not have found Delilah. The harlot prepared him for Delilah. Certain sins prepare you for abominations. The sin is so simple. It was a little lie you told, but that led you to abominable lies. The sin is so simple. It was just a little sin of immorality you got yourself involved to, but that prepared you for abominable immorality. Certain sins are preparation for other sins. Certain lying is preparation for other lies. That's what the Bible says, give no place to the devil. When you give him place, he takes places. He takes places around. Once every sin prepare you for another. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you look at David, the sin of looking at a naked woman when she was beaten prepared him for the sin of adultery. The sin of adultery prepared him for the sin of murder, and the sin of murder prepared him for the sin of covering, until God came to expose it and to purge him. Are you understanding me? Because in purging, in exposure and in purging is circumcision. In circumcision is the shutdown of dark energy. Until you don't shut down dark energy by prayer. Can you imagine somebody generating the dark spiritual energy and is praying and fasting? Your fasting and prayer will only generate the dark spiritual energy that you generate. That's why I say a lot of Christians, their fasting and prayer produce nothing. That I I told you before, if your simple prayer in your house is not moving the mountain, you have to go to the mountain. There's something wrong with you. You are going to the mountain does not mean you have changed the energy. The energy is the one stopping your prayer from being answered. In fact, when you get to the mountain, you will contact the gods of the mountain and you tap into the demon of deliverance. That will now start producing miracles to convince you that you are okay. Satan gives people who are hell-bound miracles to convince them that they are okay. So they will not tell you, if what I am doing is wrong, why is God blessing me? Excuse me, God cannot bless the wicked. He says, say unto the wicked, it shall be ill with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their labor. If you see the wicked being blessed, it's the demon of deliverance that is blessing them. It's called the prosperity of the wicked. The prosperity of the wicked is the damnation of the wicked. It seals the wicked for destruction. Many people are not giving their life to Christ because they are prospering. They travel around the world. They work in very beautiful places. They have access to all the money. They don't care, because they will say, you that don't have the money, who is pursuing Jesus, you are the one that is crazy. No, it's called the prosperity of the wicked. So it's all about the energy. Listen carefully. Look at Samson. If he has not found the harlot, he will not find Delilah. Verse 6 now says, so Delilah said to Samson, please tell me where your great strength lies. In another word, show what is the source of the energy you are generating. Can I tell you something? If you are somebody of the spirit realm, when you come across people, you can touch the energy they generate. I repeat, if you are somebody of the spirit realm, when you come around people, you can touch the energy they generate. Be the spirit realm of God or that of Satan. A winch knows the energy you generate, and a genuine child of God who understands the spirit realm also knows the energy you generate. Satan knows the energy we generate because he operates from the spirit realm. So he knows those who have no energy of righteousness. He knows those who are generating the dark energy. He lives with them, he works with them, sometimes he uses them. But those who generate the energy of righteousness, he keeps them as afar off. He deploy his human agent to shut down that energy. Are you understanding me? Because the only threat the kingdom of darkness has is those who generate the energy of righteousness. Because righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to every people. The energy of righteousness will promote you, it will exalt you, it will lift you high, but but the dark spiritual energy will diminish you and bring you down. So we must understand these things. So Samson touched Delilah, and the target of every devil in our lives is to shut down the energy of righteousness in our lives. And look at what he said. Please tell me where your great strength lies, and with what you may be bound to afflict you. Can you imagine statement? Now somebody is saying, he said, tell me how I can kill you. No. If that is the statement, instead of you to leave the house, he entered into conversation. Conversation in the wrong place is the access door to destruction. Conversation in the wrong place is the access door to destruction. So he entered into conversation and he began to talk. At the end of the day, in verse 18, when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up once more, for he has told me all his heart. So the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought the money in their hands. Remember, before this point, she was calling them, he was destroying them. Samson didn't know he was on reserve. God does not abandon his warriors. He doesn't. It is his warriors that abandon the ways he wants them to live. When you abandon the ways that God wants you to live, you have abandoned God. When you abandon God, the enemy will have you. Samson abandoned the way. When he abandoned the way that God asked him to live, he began to run on reserve. So when he was running on reserve, they will come, he will kill them. They will come, he will kill them. He now got to a point where he terminated the last structure, the last lifestyle that was keeping even the reserve. was the lifestyle? Keep secret what I have told you. And Samson now told the untold. He now revealed the secret. As soon as he revealed the secret, the remaining energy of righteousness in his life, the reserve, ran out. It's like your phone was in the last bar and the thing ran out.